Hey, 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 it's Chaos Queen here, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey, it's Mistress Carrie, and you are listening to Studio 2009.
It's a lot more than any $10 trophy they're going to hand you.
Not tonight, please.
Darling, if you're embarrassed by all your millions, why don't you just sign them over to me? They wouldn't embarrass me in the least.
Money is a weapon, Mark. A tool to be used for good, if it's used properly.
Properly, I see. That means handing it out like Halloween candy to a bunch of grifters who've never done a day's work in their life, huh?
Because nobody has ever given them a chance.
Oh, come on.
You know what it's like to be an ex-convict trying to find honest work?
Margaret, please. Please, don't lecture me on ex-cons. I wrote that book.
There is nothing wrong with your podcast player. Do not attempt to adjust the volume. Hello and welcome back into Studio 2009, only on the Geekcast Radio Network. I'm, of course, TFG and Mike, and joining me once again is that good old detective, Dave Draper. Hey, Dave, how are you? Yet? What?
Sure about getting better, but I'm not dead yet.
Oh, not dead yet. Yeah, no dying. No
yet.
dying allowed. No dying allowed. Today we can
sure about feeling happy, but whatever. Hey, you started the Python nonsense.
What?
Go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
Yeah. What? I was talking about my Gatorade bottle. I wasn't talking about you.
I'm aware.
Anyway, today we will. What?
I was gonna. I can't remember what the phrase is. You started it. You started it. You broke the seal.
Yeah. Today we continue on our journey. Actually, we finished this part of the journey as we put our trench coats on
in the can.
That's right. Trench coats on and jump back in time with Columbo. These are the Columbo files here inside Studio 2009. Starting at the beginning, going all the way in order. Obviously, Tubi TV is the main source for all the episodes. Yeah. Block it out and just be happy. Yeah. Season 3, episode 8. And we all need a friend indeed sometimes.
Well, it's based on the old expression, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Except they did it. Instead of indeed as one word, it's indeed as an inaction.
Yes. Absolutely. And oh boy, this episode.
It's an interesting one. Like this I always say I like it when they play with the formula, and this one really not only is the structure of the murders and the mystery different, but this is probably one of his toughest opponents because this is a police commissioner. This guy could take him out. In fact, he almost does at the end.
He almost does, yeah.
Sir, you just lost your badge.
Yep.
No, she had to have drowned before 6. Maybe even before 5. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been that dry. Long before Jessup got there. As a matter of fact, just about the time that you came home for supper. Commissioner, I believe you killed your wife. And I believe you either killed Janice Caldwell or you're covering up for it.
You just lost your badge, my friend.
Yeah, it's very, very well done episode. It's a twisty, turny, winding road of an episode. It's 94 minutes, but that 94 minutes feels like 187 minutes to me.
It definitely felt like, it did feel long.
Yeah, it felt very long. And I'm not saying that as a general bad thing, because
No.
I'm just saying, there is so much that they were able to cram into this 94-minute episode. And this is a testament to the people who work on Columbo. I mean, it really, really is because, yeah, I mean, wow, just amazing that they were able to do this way. Written by Peter S. Fisher, directed by Ben Gazzara,
who was an actor, fairly well known back in the day.
Oh, very cool, very cool. This aired May 5th, 1974.
These were still in 74.
Yep, still in 74. So this would have ended the May of 74, 73, 74 sweeps. So it would have been the May sweeps. If sweeps were a thing in the 70s, I don't know.
I believe they were.
Okay. So Richard Kiley. I'm gonna say Kiley because it's spelled
guy. You've heard him before, Mike.
Mm?
Here is the Tyrannosaurus Rex Predator. Oh. He was the voice in the car for Jurassic Park. I get to Transformers U for once and go back to one of my obsessions.
There you go. Very cool. That's awesome.
Yep. He was a fairly well-known actor back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely. He plays Mark Halpern, and Michael McGuire plays Hugh Caldwell. Rosemary Murphy plays Margaret Halpern, and an uncredited actress as Janice Caldwell.
Hey. Her role was slightly less developed than Marianne from the last episode.
I mean,
that's like Daisy Ridley's first role, corpse.
Yeah, I mean.
So the story on this one is that Hugh Caldwell is neighbors with Richard Kiley's character, who's the police commissioner. They're friends and they're in the same social status. And he had a fight with his wife and killed her. This all happens before the show even begins. She's already dead. And he's freaking out about it, so he wants to talk to his buddy who's the police commissioner. Yeah. And he calls the house, and Richard Kiley's wife is like, no, he's not here, he's at the club. He goes to the club, and it's established pretty quickly that Richard Kiley's kind of a freewheeling character himself. Like he's got girls hanging on him, he's gambling, smoking a big old cheroot. And so Caldwell basically, gets him out of the game and explains that he's killed his wife, and it was a fight. It was an act of passion. Yeah, he didn't mean to kill her, and this twigged something in Richard Kiley's brain, because his wife is. It's one of those situations that happens a lot in Columbo. We think a lot of things happen a lot in Columbo that don't seem to, but like he doesn't have any money. His wife has the money, and he resents that. So he comes up with a scheme. Or he agrees to help his friend cover up the fact that the wife got murdered. And in the back of his mind, he's like got a plan. A friend in need is a friend indeed. So there's been a series of robberies in the neighborhood. So he comes home, like he stages his whole thing. He gets into the house and he has the husband. He has Hugh go to a bar and hang out all night and pretend to call his wife. So Richard Kiley's in Hugh's house, staging everything, and then the husband calls from the bar and has a fake conversation with the wife to establish his alibi, and he makes it look like this robber who's been in the neighborhood has murdered the wife. Then he goes home, which is next door, and he's like standing out on the balcony and he's like, "Hey, do you see this guy over here at the Caldwell's house?" And his wife's like, "What?" And she comes up and she doesn't see anything, but he's like, "He's already gone." So that establishes, hey, this house was broken into, and then when the police get there, the wife's dead. And so then plan B is then, Hugh's like, oh, thank you so much for helping me. And like, oh, it's not over yet. Phase 2 begins now. So his wife is going to be like, his wife is big into like charities and stuff. Like there's this whole sort of weirdly political, because he's a police commissioner, so he's like a conservative guy where he's like, these people are bums and losers, and she's like, no, we've got to help people because they never get a chance. Because when they go to jail and they cut out, they no one gives them a break. He's like, yeah, they're scum, they're useless, and she's getting a Woman of the Year award. So as Columbo is investigating the murder of the first wife, he uncovers some things. There's a whole thing where like Richard Kiley had dressed her up in her dressing gown, but she had a habit of putting her gown for the night underneath her pillow, and it was still there. And Kiley didn't know that. So it's like, well, why is there this gown under here, but she's wearing a gown that does, clearly whoever dressed her didn't know her habits.
Yeah.
And then another thing is when he comes to visit the Richard Kiley's wife, Margaret, I believe.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not good with names. She ends up tearing her outfit on a cactus thorn, and she gives him some information about the situation of the marriage. It wasn't a good marriage, and that becomes relevant later on because what happens is, Richard Kiley makes this big thing. Oh, we're gonna patrol the neighborhood, and we're gonna double down on the police force, and I'm gonna be in this helicopter searching the neighborhood myself.
Yep.
Because I saw this guy. My wife and I saw this guy. And then what happens is he gets Hugh. Well, he comes home, and his wife's in the bath. He basically drowns her in the bathtub.
Basically drowns her, yeah, in the bathtub.
No, basically he does. He drowns her in the bathtub, and it's a bubble bath. There's bubbles everywhere, which actually becomes plot relevant.
Yes.
And he dresses her up in the clothes she was wearing that day, which also becomes relevant because, as I mentioned, it got torn.
Yep.
And so when he's in the helicopter, he has Hugh come in, dressed out in these clothes with a pantyhose over his head. Son, you got a banty on your head. Sorry, Raising Arizona reference. And stagger out like Frankenstein holding the body. It's like, that's my wife. That monster has my wife. And he throws her in the pool. And so Richard Kiley makes this big deal about jumping out of the helicopter, jumping into the pool, and pulling her out. Oh no, she drowned in the pool. And the guy gets away. And you can't blame me because I was clearly in this helicopter with another guy and witnesses.
Yeah.
And Columbo right away is like, check her lungs for, check the water in her lungs for chlorine. And the medical examiner says, well, you're not going to find nothing. Because chlorine metabolizes very quickly. But he's like, look, check anyway.
Yeah, check anyway. And check the lungs for,
And then the guy shows up from the event that the wife was supposed to go to. And Columbo's like, well, she wouldn't have worn that outfit to go to that event because it had a rip. And I was there when it got ripped.
Yeah,
he knows something's up.
Yeah.
That's the initial setup. Then there's this whole other subplot about the actual thief who looks a lot like what's his name. I don't want to mention him because he's in a very naughty business, and apparently he was not a nice guy and is in jail, I think now. But on Jeremy.
Yes, Mr. Pronstar. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, of course he's kind of put out by the fact that everyone says that he's the murderer, and he's just a thief.
He's just a thief. Yeah. And
that becomes the crux of the final solution.
Yeah.
Because Columbo does this thing. I love this. It's one of my favorite moments where Columbo does this thing where he does he talks to the guy in the robbery department because he's homicide.
Yep.
If you had to analyze all these crimes, except for the ones with the murders, who would you pick to be the guy? He says, well, I'd pick this guy who's,
the burglar.
The burglar, the actual burglar. And so Columbo goes to that guy and says, look, I know you're the guy that's been robbing these places, but I know you didn't commit the murders. Can you help me?
Yep.
This little scheme I have. Which, again, is Columbo sometimes he skirts the line on entrapment, I think. He convinces the guy to get in this blackmail scheme with Campbell.
Yeah.
Caldwell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole.
It's very twisty. It's got a lot going on.
It's very twisty. It's a lot going on. It almost feels like it's 2 episodes in one, even though it's the same time length as it's the same 94 minutes, but it just feels like it's so much longer than 94 minutes.
It's got 3 through lines. They're all connected, but there's Caldwell, there's Richard Kiley, and then there's the thief.
Yep.
And then there's Columbo's car, which is acting up this episode.
So the point when he first goes during the day, when Columbo drives up to the house and he's talking to Mrs.
Wife, Margaret.
He's talking to Margaret. Yep. He backs out of the driveway and he backs down the street to park next to the house, and he stops and he parks there, and I'm sitting here thinking, what? Why would you drive backwards all the way? Why wouldn't you? Oh, okay, fine, Columbo, you do what you're going to do. So he gets out of his car and he does what he's going to do. He comes back to the car. The car won't start.
They already established that the car had a dead battery earlier.
Okay.
He shows up at the crime scene in the commissioner's limo, and he had dropped a cigar.
Yes. And he doesn't want to blow up the commissioner's limo, which, hey, that wouldn't be no real great loss. But, okay. So the car had a dead battery on it. All right, fine. My first thought, though, was in that scene with the car on the other side of the street after he talks to the wife, man, you better check your tailpipe. Make sure there's no banana in your tailpipe. That was my first thought, even though this episode takes place 10 years before that joke was ever written.
Well, they did that in an episode of Columbo.
Oh, did they?
Remember they did that?
The potato. That's right. The potato. Yeah. But that was literally my first thought was you better check your own tailpipes, Columbo. But okay, dead battery. That was the culprit. That's right.
And then like a surprisingly, like it's a little thing because he flags down a car to help him get help.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you can't do that in LA these days.
No, you can't. Not at all. And that's what I love about this show. Seeing LA back then. Oh, man, what a completely different town that was. Versus LA of today or LA of even 10 years ago.
And it was still considered a vice of, or a den of vice and infamous and wickedness.
Yep.
His wickedness was so cute and quaint back in those days.
Guess so. Well, I mean, you gotta. Is it this is this episode or is it the last episode where he's like, I wish I wasn't this tall?
That was the one with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
He says that's Pangborn, though.
Yeah, it says the Pangborn. It's like, oh man, like
Pangborn's like, why don't you join us with the?
That's the
air guy. He's like, well, you got to be a pilot, and it's like, yeah, we'll train you to be a pilot. It's like, I don't even like being this tall.
This tall, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I don't even like being this tall.
I don't know. He just has that quality of just you just want to talk to him, no matter what it is. It doesn't even matter. That's why I think half the criminals like him.
I think that's his thing. Is he's very ingratiating.
Yep.
And he because there's a lot of times I always think like because there was one time many years ago they did this thing at the local Barnes and Noble where it was one of these like murder mystery things where it was like you had to play the investigator, right? And then people like staff members were pretending it was a Star Trek one, so everyone was pretending to be a cast member from Star Trek, and someone had committed a murder, and you were supposed to ask them questions. And in Columbo, these people would answer questions, but in real life, people are like, I don't have to tell you, I don't know, nothing. It's like in Columbo, they tell you everything.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see, what else did I have written down here? The only thing, and I understand, and maybe it did take longer because obviously we don't see it on screen, but it would have taken the commissioner longer than the 4 seconds of screen time that we see him strangling her. Like, I know he pushed her
under,
down. Yeah, I know he pushed her under, but I'm assuming he's also still holding her under and strangling her or whatever. Like, that would have taken longer than what we actually see. Like,
maybe she obviously wasn't expecting it. She could have like breathed in by mistake, by shock.
Maybe.
Well, obviously she did because when they check the lungs, they find soap.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess because we've seen, Tyrannosauruses in San Francisco, I guess suspend your disbelief. San Diego. Whatever. It's all California. Suspend your disbelief for a helicopter in the backyard with the pool. Oh, boy.
It wasn't that big a helicopter, to be frank.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big backyard.
Pretty big backyard, yeah.
And then at the end, what happens is at the end, because Kiley is so focused on framing this guy, the thief, Columbo lures him into a trap where he messes with the files. He rents out an apartment under his name for him, but he uses that address he puts that address in the thief's file.
Yep.
When Richard Kiley comes in and looks at the file, he sees that address. So he gets the stuff that he stole from the house, and he plants it in that apartment. And so at the end, he's like, "Ha-ha, we found the thief's apartment, and we found all these stolen these stolen jewels." And
I was wondering where that was going to go, and then I was like, "Oh, you sneaky Columbo!"
Yeah.
That was
the moment
good.
where Columbo goes, "Sir, you killed your wife." He's like, "My friend, you just lost your badge." And they find the stolen things, and it's like, it was in his apartment. It's like, but it's not his apartment; it's my apartment.
Yep.
That's the thing where he's like, my apartment, my underwear, my brother-in-law, my niece. There was a picture of a niece and nephew.
Yep. Niece and nephew. Absolutely. Oh, it was so funny. It was so good. It almost reminded me of is it Song of the Thin Man? It's one of the Thin Man movies where it's a upstairs downstairs apartment thing where the murder happens downstairs and upstairs people are the criminal is watching the person down. It's a whole thing, but this apartment scene at the end reminded me of that. I was like, oh, I see what you did there, Columbo. That's very good. But yeah, what an episode to end the season on. Holy crap. This is really good. Anything else on this one?
Yeah, I think we got all the basics, the car, and we still to this day have not gotten one more thing, sir. One more thing.
No.
To this day, this is one of my favorite antagonists, just because it's very rare that there are any stakes for Columbo.
Yes,
at least in the original NBC ones. And that's by design. I mean, he was going up against his boss.
Yeah,
so that made it a little more kind of exciting for me.
Yeah, and me too. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. How's he gonna go around or get around or figure this out? How's he gonna work around? How are the bosses gonna trip him up? And the boss and the dude kept forget about all the murder stuff. Focus on the robbery stuff. Blah blah blah. He's a murder cop. He's not a burglary cop. Like, he's gonna focus on the murder. That's his job.
The one ball I think they would, just now thinking about it, I think they dropped was, you would think that a guy who works with Columbo would know Columbo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he should have been a little bit better prepared for what he was dealing with.
Yeah, he should have been. Because every episode previous to this, every time Columbo has talked about his superiors, even when he's talked about them as just a single person, my superior, he's a very smart man. He'll know this or he'll know that, and I don't know if it was supposed to be this specific.
No. This guy's like 2 or 3 levels above Columbo. Columbo's a lieutenant, and it would probably be his captain.
Yeah, probably. And this is the commissioner.
I mean, the counter argument to my point would be that the commissioner probably doesn't really have that much interaction with a lieutenant.
That's
he
true.
doesn't know Columbo, but he seems to know who Columbo is, and Columbo seems to get a lot of cases solved. So
yeah,
but no. He does he's talking. Well, first of all, I'm not even sure he's really talking about his superiors. That's one of those. Is he really talking about his superiors, or is he talking about him?
Yeah.
But also, those two guys don't interact professionally in any kind of regular basis.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I don't think there's any of the cast members we need to really go through. We mentioned about Richard Kiley being the voice of the Jurassic Park ride. So there's that.
For no expense.
Yeah, exactly. Spare no expense. 0 to 5, half points. What are you going to give it?
I'll give this one a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 4.5. It was very remarkable. It's very up there. Absolutely. All right, folks, we are going to go to a quick podcast ad break. You're going to hear some podcast ads and some other stuff. We'll come back to close the show right after this.
I thought I saw something. It was kind of a gut feeling, I suppose. I told him to go back and to hover over the patio area. I switched out the lights, and there he was. The same man holding Margaret in his arms.
Are you sure it was the same man?
Well, I assume that he... Yes, he was wearing the same clothes.
I see. You must have a lot of those, sir.
What?
Gut feelings.
What are you talking about?
Well, you had a gut feeling last night.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean last night?
When you asked for me to report to the Caldwell house.
Yes?
I found out that you asked for me when you first called in.
I did.
What I mean, sir, is that the burglar had never harmed anybody before. Yet from your bedroom window, when you called in, you asked for me. No, I was just trying to figure out how you knew that the woman was already dead.
I didn't know, obviously. But I did have some kind of a feeling. I sensed something was wrong. Well, the lights were on, for one thing, and the man running from the house, the fact that Janice was there alone, Well, you're a policeman. I don't have to explain these things.
Yes, sir, I know exactly what you feel. I've had that feeling many times. You know something is wrong. You just can't get a handle on it. All right, sir. I'm going to look around the house. If it's all right with you, maybe the man got careless.
Columbo. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, geeks and geekettes! Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics? Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks. Every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Are you missing entertainment in your life? Welcome to Captain Ruggles Gaming. Whether it's guides, roleplay content, or our shenanigans with our collaborations with the 20 years standing strong Fart Clan, also known as Fast Action Response Team, or the Wrecking Crew, we have something for everyone. So join us when we traverse the cosmos of space games, survive the undead in zombie games, or just having fun in first-person shooters or random indie games. Visit us now at geekcastradio.com and youtube.com/@Captain Ruggles, or Google search Captain Ruggles Gaming. It's game time, and I'll see you out on the battlefield.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes or geekcastradio.com.
Hey toy fans, this is John, also known as Iacon Dispatch. You can find me on pretty much every social network at Iacon Dispatch, where I share cool Transformers and Star Wars stuff that I like. Thanks so much to the great people at Geekcast Radio Network for putting this awesome project together, and for once again letting me contribute to it. Definitely had a lot of fun with it. Take it easy everyone, and I'll see you around online.
What's up, folks? My name is Mike, and I am the host of the Mike Seibert Radio Podcast, your favorite Transformers adjacent podcast, and I've got 60 seconds to tell you all about my show. Good thing I've got a catchy theme song to do most of the work for me.
Mike Seibert Radio, we talk about stuff and things, lots of guests in-depth interviewing. Mike Seibert Radio, it's nobody's
I also talk about the Transformers the movie about as much as I talk about Boba Fett. My guests are independent artists who tell their stories and give terrific advice about pursuing your creative interests, and I encourage you to do the same thing, even if I can't take my own advice. Brevity is not my first best strength, but you can subscribe to Mike Seibert Radio on most podcast apps so you never miss an episode. Make good choices.
It's time for Mike Seibert Radio.
We are Two Mikes, Too Furious, a podcast where we watch every episode of Transformers Animated and discuss from two different points of view. I'm Mike Seibert, and I've never watched Transformers Animated before, and guiding me on this journey is author Michael Andrews.
Hello! Yes, longtime Transformers Animated fan, serial rewatcher. I've seen it plenty of times.
So if you've never watched Transformers Animated but always wanted a reason to, now's your chance. Likewise, if you've binged the series several times, it's a great reason to watch through again with us. Because regardless, if you're a seasoned vet or a newbie, there's something for every fan, because I ask questions.
Why is Prowl such a dick? So that he can be not a dick later, I think is the answer.
Subscribe to Two Mikes, Too Furious on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode.
Are we coming off furious enough? I feel like we're not living up to the... Are we supposed to be like more angry, more fired up? We're really in a good mood. We really enjoy talking to each other.
Do you like retro cartoons? Then Saturday Morning Rewind is the podcast for you. Join them each month as they talk about classic cartoons and interview legendary voice actors like Jim Cummings.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Corey Burton.
Sometimes things can be so flighty.
Rob Paulson.
Sure, Blaine, but how are we going to find chaps our size?
Nancy Cartwright and many more.
Eat my shorts.
So grab a bowl of Lucky Charms.
They're magically delicious.
Put on your hammer pants. Go to SaturdayMorningRewind.com. And be prepared to feel like a kid again. Once again, that's SaturdayMorningRewind.com. Saturday Morning Rewind was voted Best Podcast Ever by its host, Tim Nidell. So it's gotta be good.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk...
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download this show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
Now we can get down to business.
All right, folks, we are back here inside Studio 2009, only on the Geekcast Radio Network. Any final thoughts, sir? Anything you'd like to say before I run through the closing?
No, just a strong end of the season. Kind of looking forward to what comes next.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, folks, I don't know what's coming next because I have no plan currently. I am still working on other plans and other things, and we still haven't, as of this recording, we still haven't recorded the middle section of the summer. So this is, you'll hear this sometime in the fall of 2025. So we haven't planned past this episode. So episode 179 to 200 is wide open as of this moment because I haven't written anything down yet. Once I write it down and once it's in bold, it's set. But, yeah, we'll have to figure that out off air, obviously. Thank you for joining us here inside Studio 2009. If you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. You can visit shop.geekcastradio.com and buy all of our stuff, T-shirts up to 4XL, mugs. I think there's gamer pads or other stuff you can buy, so buy our stuff. You can send email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on all the podcatching clients you choose to use. Follow us on Twitter at GeekCastRadio for the network, at It's Studio 2009, all one word for the show. I am at TFG and Mike. Dave doesn't do social media.
Oh.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. You can also check out Studio 2009 podcast over there, as well as joining the Toy World Order fans group. Join us next time when we'll be talking about something. I don't know who it's going to be with or what the topic's going to be. I'll be here. Somebody else will be here. I have no clue. I don't know if it's going to be a movie, TV show, Hell, we could be starting a book club next episode. I don't know. For now, I am TFG and Mike with...
Who's Draper?
What Draper?
David Draper.
There you go. You'll hear us back in the studio soon.
I think I'll be running along now, sir. Thank you very much. I certainly enjoyed it.